might be soon to ask, but what's the feedback you have received, or what is the how this new website has impacted sales and marketing as a whole?
What we think is like India is a very cost sensitive market. So to kind of showcase what they actually kind of save when they're using Trocco becomes very effective for our customers. So
A lot of our Japanese colleagues were kind of giving us praise on saying that we look like a modern SaaS platform now, a global SaaS platform.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Power Up with Nitrous, how Trocco scaled globally with a strategic website redesign. Today, I have with me Pratik and Brett from Trocco team. And yes, I guess we did this redesign a couple of months back. It was a process where we got to know a lot about Trocco as a company. And just before we go into the introduction of Pratik, just to give you guys a backdrop, we started this redesign process with the intention that we are going to get a portfolio piece for us, and we wanted to make sure that we give 100% to it, and the results that came out was pretty good. And at the same time, I would want Pratik and Brett to take it ahead. So just to start off with a quick introduction, so we have Pratik over here. He is the global strategy and marketing lead for Trocco, and we have Brett, who is senior solution architect for Trocco. Guys, you can introduce yourself, and then we can take things ahead. And please tell us about Trocco as a whole.
yeah, thanks Soumya. Thanks for inviting us over for the webinar. I think it was wonderful experience to work together with your team. I think the last I would say about like 6 to 8 months has been really a good time for us to kind of integrate well with your team and kind of release a very kind of awaited project for our company. So yeah, I mean, I'll just give a brief intro of my side. I'm Pratik. I'm heading the global marketing and strategy. Basically, we have global businesses in Trocco as India and Korea. So basically, we are trying to enhance our presence overseas as well. And that was one of the major objectives for Trocco. I mean, as Trocco being one of a headquartered company as Prime Number, I think it's a headquartered company in Japan. Trocco is one of our products which origin from Japan itself. And I think India was a very major and a very initial, like crucial market for us for global. So yeah, for me, I think it was very important to have like a very efficient UI UX version of the website released for all the global users. So yeah, I mean, it was glad to be working with your team, and I'm really glad to have a conversation again with you today. And we are hoping to kind of continue this relation and try to cover more projects in the coming time. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Brett, you want to quickly introduce?
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much. So yeah, my name is Brett. I'm a senior solutions architect here at Prime Number, working on Trocco. So I mainly help customers design their data platform and implement Trocco. And since our global team is still quite small, and we don't have a dedicated web designer yet, so I worked alongside Pratik in this project and Nitrous to redesign and implement the global website for our global expansion. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that as our team also got to know a lot about Trocco, how the ELT platform works. And I would want you to touch upon these pointers because like the things that we have put in the website and what we know of. So like we are saving like a lot of resources, like the resource spent. We build data pipeline in just 5 minutes. We reduce the time of value of data by 300%. So please touch upon Trocco as a whole, and then we can take it ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that. Basically, Trocco it's a cloud-based platform, a data integration automation platform, and a kind of overall goal and what we try and do as a platform is we make it easy for customers to connect their different data sources. Like businesses nowadays, are using data across multiple different platforms. It could be ad platforms, it could be sales platforms, CRMs, that kind of thing. And what Trocco does is it basically connects to all those APIs and help automate those data flows into a centralized location, such as a data warehouse. Some examples, that are quite famous in the market are Snowflake, Databricks, and BigQuery. And yeah, as you just mentioned, the metrics that we kind of generally give are, we reduce the time spent to build data platforms by 90%. You can build the data pipelines in 5 minutes and, get return on investment that way. So,
Absolutely. No, that's really great. And coming to this value proposition with enterprise, they like where just 10% adds value, 90%, 80%. These are like huge jumps for enterprise. That's what I feel.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to quickly touch upon the challenges that when we started this website redesign process and what we felt during that time, that we had a lot of technical things that we wanted to showcase, but at the same time we wanted to clearly articulate the value proposition that we are going to give these enterprise, and the data concept, which is just not shown out by a dashboard, but figuring out how this works, like the visual aesthetics of it, so that they are more digestible, and the personas who are not technical also, they should be able to figure out what the platform does. So like the biggest challenge or the biggest question that we had was, how might we translate this complex data concepts into an intuitive, visual, engaging website that just don't work for technical but as well as non-technical audience, because at the end of the day, the marketing website is not just for the technical side of it, but also for the decision maker who might not be technical. So yeah, please touch upon like how we did it and what solution we reached. We'll just go to that.
Yeah, I'll just take the first one initially. So basically, yeah, Trocco being, I would say, serving as a very, like I said, very niche category. So we are a very niche product itself. We are serving on a very small community of data engineering, like team in a company. So we always think of like what can be the issues in terms of a company when they are kind of managing data. So we are not very limited in terms of industry. We can actually cater to different and several industries, and we have different use cases where all of our customers have utilized Trocco to kind of create and generate ROI like from their data. So we know, like, I mean, let's say for example, if it's a marketing industry, so there's a lot of scattered data in terms of advertisement, sales, marketing data. So we want, let's say, a marketing company to actually actively utilize that data so that they can make very important decision making in terms of what is kind of contributing to their conversions, what are the kind of I would say important structured information which they need for their management. So I mean that's like what Trocco kind of helps them provide. And since, like I mentioned, being a very niche category, so we also understand that companies who are into marketing or hardcore sales, they have very limitations in terms of having engineering resources. So we try to kind of come in and like kind of serve those companies where a lot of engineering talent is not easily available. So that's like I would say a kind of hardcore USP for Trocco, where we make it very simple for even like non-engineering industries to come in and utilize Trocco effectively. So yeah, I mean that's like the first effective USP what we can say of Trocco. Yeah, I mean anything to add, Brett, you can please feel free to add it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just adding to what you're saying there. So, I mean, with the design of the website, what the goals we're trying to achieve there were basically simplicity, expandability, and manageability. So, as Pratik just mentioned, we cater towards data engineers naturally. So, Trocco is a tool for the data industry, and by nature, it's fairly technical and complicated, right? So, we needed to design a website to communicate our tool's capabilities in a simple and understandable way to data engineers as well as stakeholders and decision makers, right? So, Nitrous helped us with that, with like illustrations and animations along with the copy there. So, I think, we're able to kind of portray that. For expandability, so, other than Japan, we're currently expanding into India and Korean region. So that meant that we're, two different markets, two different languages simultaneously. So for that, we needed a website that we could localize across multiple languages for each of those regions. And using Webflow and working with Nitrous, we were able to kind of create a website that could do that. And of course, the last major point here was manageability. So after designing the website, it doesn't end there. We've still got to go on and add blog content for multiple regions. And Webflow has a pretty good CMS system. And working with Nitrous, you guys designed some nice template pages that we could work with. So since then, we've been adding lots of blog content and that kind of thing. So it really served as sort of like a base platform for us to kind of use and scale into the future there. So, and we don't have a in-house designer or web developer here in our global team, so it was really great to work with Nitrous to allow us to kind of achieve that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to touch upon more onto that, so in this entire thing, so you would have seen marketing website that just display the data in formats, but then we went one step ahead and we started implementing lot heavier animations directly done into Webflow so that our sight of the speed does not get affected. So how do you think that how easy it has become after we have implemented that for someone to understand these kind of complex concept?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, since like I mentioned, the product itself is very niche. So sometimes it's very hard for the people who are coming to the website to actually know what we are kind of providing. And if your service offerings, like I mean, Trocco itself has a lot of different service offerings, so it becomes very important for us to kind of simplify whatever and whichever pages we have on the website. So I think Nitrous did a wonderful job in terms of simplifying each page, like taking each page at a time, defining each service, each model, each kind of solution, what we provide for the customers. So I think that those kind of animations, those kind of illustrations, kind of simplified the version of our like kind of product offering what we have in terms of Trocco. So that was very effective in terms of explaining the customers easily. So that's one I would say easy point what our customers kind of had after that. And especially like I mentioned, like if there are non-technical industries like marketing or media or advertising. So these kind of industries don't have a lot of engineers and they don't have so much know-how in terms of how data engineering works and how data is kind of effectively have to manage. So I think Nitrous did a wonderful job in kind of breaking that out. I think in terms of different pages and segmenting out into different core areas of what our product offers. So yeah, I mean that kind of made it a lot of easier for each like customer when they came and understood the product. So defining the product, creating those illustrations, I think that was quite effective in terms of explaining those kind of customers which we have. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that, so it was a collaborative process as well. I mean, the first step was we had to kind of explain to the designers, I mean, what we're trying to kind of go across with, right? So we had like a lot of back and forth with Nitrous about kind of what we're doing. You guys were coming up with kind of concept designs and feeding them to us, and then we were kind of approving or asking for adjustments and that kind of thing. So that kind of whole flow went really well. I mean, you guys were really easy to communicate with, and that I think enabled us to kind of build those animations and designs. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess so we have implemented that in the process as well, that we sketch those ideas, right? So rather than going right into the Figma, we sketch those ideas so that we are able to understand that how we are going to display these complex illustrations. So that also helps us a lot because that reduces a lot of time of us going and doing something and then revisiting it again and again. So that has something that highlighted for our process. Like this was the first time we did it for Trocco, and then after that this has always been the case. Like we sketch concepts and then only we go and start developing it. So that was a
Yeah.
great learning for our team as well.
Yeah, I think it's a great approach. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to touch upon this information architecture. So when we thought of creating the IA, we sought to the way that how we can progressively disclose content so that it's not very heavy for the user, and obviously the illustrations were there to act upon it, but at the same time we wanted to have a very clear pathway for these users to navigate, right? And like how well do you think that these aligned with the accessibility and how the user behaved? Do you think that we did it the right way?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, in terms of like creating those illustrations, since they were mostly animated, so it became a kind, I would say, an extra step of easiness to understand, like what are the kind of what is the exactly the process in terms of what Trocco provides in that particular area or that particular solution. So I think Nitrous did a wonderful job. I mean, in terms of understanding what we want to display at that particular page to the customers and creating that, I would say patterns in terms of animations and the kind of movement in terms of what illustrations or what kind of data we are kind of showing to the customer. So that kind of made the customer more easy to understand of what each page kind of wants to convey. and we didn't use too many text, I would say, as of now. Like we were using a mix of, I would say, both icons and text and graphical illustrations at the same time. So I think all the mix of three kind of gave a blend in terms of making the customer more easy to understand on what we are wanting to convey on the website. So yeah, I mean that really kind of helped us out. And since it was, I would say, a back and forth kind of communication with your team, so since this product itself is sometimes a little difficult to understand for somebody coming in for a non-technical background, but I think your designers kind of came in and understood, and they kind of had these sessions with us, and I think that kind of helped in terms of us giving them information, and that kind of gave us a lot of confidence in kind of trusting you with those, I would say, content and designs and all the things which you did in the project. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add there, yeah. So, I mean, the great thing was is that it wasn't, just like one or two kind of, illustrations and animations here. Like what we ended up doing was we ended up making animations for each of our separate features, which was, quite good again. So it was like, your team had gone away and come back with different designs for each of those features. Like we explained the feature to them, they go away, come back with some illustration ideas and design ideas and bring them back to us. So, that was quite impressive, I thought, as well. Just kind of, it wasn't just a few kind of here and there. We actually managed to kind of do them for most of our features there. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to add to that also, so generally we see this challenge like there would be architects who would have their ideas, there would be marketers who
mhm.
would have ideas, but then translating it becomes the bridge
Yeah,
becomes a very huge challenge, right? And the
yeah,
more
yeah,
information we had, the more we can produce as designers. So it was a great mixture, like you explaining the product in such a way that a designer could understand that being such a complex product, but at the same time us able to translate it. That was one of the highlights of this like entire project.
Yeah, and I think one good thing with your team was you guys came up with, I would say, several times in terms of drafts. Like it's not like a one-time thing, and we just like kind of conveyed you and you prepared and it was executed. So we had to kind of walk in several times in terms of making changes, and that openness in terms of hearing and making changes for the clients. I think that's really commendable on your side. So that was something which kind of executed in all the illustrations we created for several solutions on the website. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Nitrous had, a really good communication channel with us. Like, so it was really easy to communicate our ideas across. I mean, we could say something and then you guys would instantly reply and kind of we can work on that. So we could work really quickly and kind of in an agile way,
Yeah.
working back and forth there. So yeah, I like that approach.
And one thing that we as a team that still values is that like generally if you have seen design industry or a development company, they would talk about we'll give you two iterations, we'll give you three iterations. So for
Yeah,
us that is never the case, because at the end of the day, if your site is successful, it's like we are still
yeah,
trying at the 6 years of business, we are still trying to build our portfolio pieces every time, right?
sure, of course,
So
yeah.
there's no thing like iteration. There should be, it can be the first draft that should come out perfect, that's what we strive for. But if it takes fifth, 10th, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. Like at the end of the day, the goal is to for the team combined, I'm not talking about Nitrous Trocco, but as the combined team,
Mm.
we should take that effort and get that thing going.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was we really appreciate the approach for sure. Yeah.
So just to highlight one point, so we build this ROI calculator, and trust me on this when I say this, I have got feedbacks from lot of people saying that you have built this excellent ROI calculator, simplistic, it sticks to one particular scheme width, and we are able to
Mhm.
get that. So how do we are
Yeah.
able to get that? So I have got multiple feedbacks from my client side, so I would want to know how it helped your potential
Yeah.
customers. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, just giving a bit of background on the ROI calculator. So we noticed that some of our competitors and also other kind of companies in the same industry had implemented ROI calculators on their websites, and data engineering cost saving is like a really big value proposition of our product. Like, I mean, the whole kind of purpose behind using a tool is to kind of reduce the time that spends data engineers to build these data pipelines. So kind of like having the ROI calculator on our site can help them, really understand, okay, how much money am I going to save? What's actually going to be the monetary value of implementing this tool into our, into our data platform, right? So And basically, so I came to Nitrous with this idea. I kind of pitched them the idea, and kind of explained what we wanted to do, and kind of explained the metrics that we kind of wanted to show there. And then your team went away and came back and sort of designed that out there. And I'm really happy with that. And yeah, I think it's really helped to give like I said, the users of our leads or the conversions, a kind of better understanding about what they're going to actually save, and it kind of helps increase those conversions. Yeah.
Great, great. It might be soon to ask, but what's the feedback you have received, or what is the like how this new website has impacted sales and marketing as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, ROI calculator aside, I think a lot of like what we think is like India is a very cost sensitive market. So to kind of showcase what they actually kind of save when they're using Trocco becomes very effective for our customers. So just coming to the second question from there, like a lot of users, like they kind of came back and kind of related to how much cost they were actually saving, because having different sources inside the company. I mean, you can be a data analyst, you can be a data engineer. So it comes at a cost. Like you need to have human resources. If you're doing it manually, you need to have several, or I would say, a group of data engineers in your company. So you need to actually analyze and understand like how much and what benefit you are getting out of the tool. So I think in terms of this particular page of ROI calculator, a lot of users gave us feedbacks in terms of how much they saved ultimately. I mean, we were using it for our lead calls as well and discussing with the customer. So it was like a kind of live analysis to the customer, like rather than taking out a calculator and showing them on a PPT or something. We just kind of use it the website and show it right in there. So I think that was like one of the ways we used the ROI calculator. And overall, I mean, all the users, whatever we have, we technically haven't been sharing too much of like a deck to them, because our website itself serves as a deck. Like we kind of showcase all the solutions, all the product features inside the website. So it becomes quite easy for the person who is like a lead or a customer to us to kind of easily visit the website and see all the different pages and aspects of our product. So yeah, that kind of saves us a lot of time. We don't have to follow up with the customer. We just send a link to the customer when we are having a meeting or something, and just like the customer scrolls on the website and they see all the different info. So I mean, that's like like cheers to you guys. I mean, kind of putting the right info on the right place has been quite useful for us and our customers. So I think that's like a major, I would say, plus point for our customers so far. Yeah.
And just to add to that, sorry, there, just to add to that, yeah. So I mean, not just customer side, but when Pratik and I shared the website internally as well, like so, a lot of our Japanese colleagues were kind of giving us praise on like saying that we look like a modern SaaS platform now, a global SaaS platform, and kind of giving us that kind of positive feedback there as well. So that was cool.
Great, great. No, that's absolutely great to hear. It's like a pat on our back. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. One thing before I jump into the nitrous approach, so I wanted to touch upon this, that probably Pratik, you can answer this. So when, as a marketer, when you thinking of a redesign process, what are the pain points that you have when you are looking for an agency, an expert, like, and how is your thought, how was your thought process when you were selecting Netflix? You would have your reservations for sure, but yeah, was it a leap of faith, or how was it like for you?
I think the first and the most important thing was like we wanted to utilize Webflow. I think Webflow had been quite a useful platform for not only us but some of our referrers on in a global market. Like we had a lot of SaaS companies who were kind of using Webflow. So we wanted to have like somebody who is an expert, like a company like yours, who's kind of working around on Webflow. So that was the first touch point in kind of getting in touch with you. Second was definitely, I would say, as a Japanese company, we definitely want very openness in terms of understanding the project and also matching up like deadlines, because we have a lot of things internally where we are kind of reporting and we are kind of sharing. So we had to kind of get those deadlines ready in terms of matching and taking up the speed of releasing the website. So I think there you guys were like, I mean, you guys had a lot of use cases before, like you had a lot of experiences in your other projects where you had kind of done with similar companies. So that kind of gave us a lot of understanding in terms of trusting you. I would say third aspect was we wanted somebody who has experience or who have experience in a SaaS company or IT company in terms of building their websites. So there also, I think you guys had a kind of lot of like kitties in your bag. Like you had a lot of companies, you already had created websites. Those were like global SaaS companies. So I think we had that. We can kind of trusted you in terms of having that imagination of a global UI UX sense. So that was like was one of our third kind of major thing, and definitely I would say cost effectiveness and timely I would say execution was something which kind of took on the fourth part. But yeah, I mean, if we see all these four aspects, we had all the mix and matches. And I mean, your team was very open and they had really good in terms of communication patterns with us. So I think even before we kind of signed the contract with you, I think your execution in terms of sprints, your planning in terms of how you will take this project, I think that kind of gave us a lot of confidence in entrusting you with this project.
Yeah, I just want to put emphasis there on the cost performance aspect there. It's kind of like the elephant in the room. I mean, we had some other quotes from, companies based in the US and that kind of thing. And, we're looking at quotes of like over $100,000 kind of thing. And just for a business at our scale, that's like just, not feasible, I mean, we can't get budget approval for that kind of thing. Right. So, I mean, you guys being flexible with the pricing there and, really kind of giving us performance and good value
Yeah.
for the project, I think that was a, really great thing.
Yeah. And I still remember, I guess I spoke to Pratik and you that once
Mm.
the negotiations are done, we are not going to talk about cost anymore. Like whatever it has to get
Yeah.
the job done, it will be there. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was like
Exactly.
one of the things that we value as, because once it's the relation is of a team. So prior to that, it might be client, vendor, but once we are a team, then it we have to reach the success. So that's how
Exactly. Yeah.
keeps us going. That's what our designer are motivated to do every day. So yeah, so that's and to be very honest, like the team also puts in a lot of things from themselves. They don't since me and my co-founder, we both are designers. We come
Mm.
from that background that uh, there's nothing like, there is a business aspect to it, there is a cost aspect to it, but at the same time there has to be a success metric to it, there has to be
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
experience to it. Like when you are designing the website, it should not be a very like painful experience for anybody.
Yeah.
So I guess that was one of the like highlights of our venture together at Trocco.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I really appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, no, I just want to say, yeah, I mean, great job, Nitrous team, and thanks so much, and yeah, we look forward to kind of working with you guys again in the future. So yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. Just
yeah.
to add to the highlights of this project, so there were like 25 plus pages we created. There were 85 plus
Hmm.
components that we created, and like after having those animations, since it was done in Webflow, we were able to get the website loading time less than 2 seconds. So that
Yeah.
was one of the achievement. We were able to improve customer engagement, as you mentioned, and I hope that adding of those blogs, uh, creating new landing page has give you the edge on marketing agility and scale.
I definitely have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect, perfect. Okay. uh, Thanks a lot, Pratik, thanks a lot, Brett, for being a part of this webinar. And it was an awesome experience working with you, and I hope to work on a lot of projects with you guys as we go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Soumya. Thanks for inviting us over. And yeah, I mean, we are definitely looking forward to have you on board with other projects or what we are kind of coming up very soon. So yeah, all the best. Yeah, thank you.
Great, great. Okay, thank you guys,
Thank
see
you.
you, have a great day, bye.